Hello, this is Carrie from Wooing Nature. Welcome to the channel and also welcome to the Art of the Deck. I've got a double feature for you today, and the reason why I have a double feature is because that's the way these two decks came to me. And since I saw them together, I felt like I needed to purchase them together. And then since that time, they've been shelved together and they've been moving together since then, almost like twins. So I don't know why that happened, but today I feel like I'm starting to get a handle on that after I did some research about these two artists. And hopefully, I will be able to introduce some of you to these two today. Some of you will probably already be familiar with them. I did find out that what is the same about both of them is that they both were illustrators and they also both worked with watercolor. So maybe that's why they're together. So without further ado, I will introduce you to the John Bower Tarot and the Edmund Dulac. So I call these the Dulac and Bower, Dulac and Bower. So I did some research on both of these artists. We're going to start with Edmund Dulac first, born in 1882 in Toulouse, France. So he is a French artist, but he did spend some time in other parts of the world, which I'll talk to you about in just a minute. He studied law first. So this is Dulac. He studied law first, went to law school, was there for a while, and apparently that wasn't his thing. Went into art instead and studied art, and then from there, the rest is history, as they say. He was a magazine illustrator. He also illustrated books. He illustrated stamps and was the designer of stamps as well. For those of you who want to age yourself like me and you know about the Bronte sisters or books, the book Jane Eyre, both of these were illustrated by Edmund Dulac. The medium for this artist, as I mentioned before, is watercolor. It is said that he was fascinated with pigment and with pattern as opposed to line, and that he was also interested in Eastern culture. And when I flip through this deck, you're going to see some of that. So they say that by the age of 30, Edmund Dulac was probably one of the most sought after illustrators for magazines out there. And so that just kind of ties into his way, his images, and you'll see that too. I think it's interesting that these two illustrators come up in tarot decks because for me as an intuitive reader, the images really do speak, at times, and that's what can give you the differentiations in reading. So it's not just about the card itself and its symbolic meaning. But when you start getting into to art decks, or you're into decks where they are, of course, expounding on the theme of tarot, then the image then becomes very, very important and a very significant part of the experience of reading. So I'm going to go ahead and start pulling these so you can take a look at the Dulac deck. And so for me, what I really like about this one is that, the watercolor. And I do have another deck. I think the art of the deck, there's another art of the deck with the watercolor artist, but I'm wondering, and the other people can chime in and speak up about this, readers who read with watercolor images, if it actually heightens the reading. I love this one because this one, oh no, this one is upside down. Hold on. I love this card so much because I remember this story from childhood about the girl who had the pea under the mattress and she had all these mattresses. So I remember this story, and so uh, as we talk about Dulac's experience and also his inspirations, you know, you will see lots of childlike images, images that really take you into your, let me see if I have this one right. Yeah, I do. images that really take you all the way back and into that space where intuition lives. So water is associated with the intuitive space, also the emotional space. So sometimes when I am reading people who are dealing with emotional issues, then I will get cards that are done by watercolor or have watery like images in it. I think Dulac does a really good job of doing both because see here you have this very this black and white floor here which stands out. It's definitely different from say an image like this. So this deck feels eclectic to me, you know, like sometimes you'll get these very sharp images, very clear ones, and then in other images, and it could just be about the printing itself, it's a little more nebulous like this one. So feels that way. Takes you to a little deeper space, mentally, emotionally, and also as a reader. I like this one as well. When I was doing my research, I also found that, you know, we talked about Dulac being interested in Eastern culture. He also studied Persian miniatures. So if anybody knows anything about Persian miniatures, that was also an inspiration of this particular artist. You do see that as well, the tie to Eastern culture in the deck. And then sometimes not. Sometimes you definitely see the Western or the European images like this one. But look at that amazing, I don't know, it looks like a cloud or it could be a volcano, it could be anything erupting here in this Five of Swords. There's your King of Wands. I thought this was an interesting Knight of Cups. Look at the image of the woman. I don't know if you can see it very clearly, but she looks like she's done. Very beautiful. I don't always have an occasion to bring these out, but when I do, it's usually about something in a relationship, that we have one there, or if there's something, I'm going to say where we can't surface the intention or can't surface the meaning right away, these cards I will jump to. This is what I was saying about, you know, you have some of the Persian influence, but you have the very European influence as well. Yes. There's the Magician. So I think that the watercolor is a fascinating medium. I tried to work with watercolor before. I was just, I don't know, it was all over the place. So I'm always impressed by artists who can control that medium, so to speak. I guess to control it would be not to control it at all. I'd be interested for somebody who works with watercolor to talk about that or add to that. And do feel free to add information in the comments below. So if you know anything else about this artist, other than what I can share with you, please share that with the group. Yeah. The more the merrier. Love this card too. Someone fully immersed in the water. This is actually the Two of Swords. Imagine making a decision being immersed in water. It's probably not a bad idea. Most of the time, the Two of Swords depicts someone standing and they're blindfolded and they've got the two swords crossed in front of them. This is a totally different feel for a Two of Swords. Here we are in story time again. This also reminded me of storybooks from my childhood, and it is the Six of Cups, which is about nostalgia. I really love this one. This is the Hierophant. And if you can see it, here's the Hierophant here. And then to me, these are like all the Ascended Masters or the Spirit Masters that are standing with him. I really like that image for the Hierophant. Another Persian experience right there in the Knight of Wands. Nice. This is actually Seven of Pentacles. Really nice card. There's your High Priestess. She almost looks like a ghost. I like this one too. Knight of Swords. He's fast at work trying to get whatever it is he's got to get done. All right. Almost coming to the end here. This is the Two of Clubs. Two of Wands. I really like this one too. This almost reminds me of a Persian Cinderella or something. And there's the other Cinderella. Yeah. And this is the image that's on the cover, on the deck cover. Really, really beautiful. Two of Cups. Definitely an image of love and togetherness and connection. This is one of my favorite cards and in the deck. And if you don't really see anything, that's because this image is laden with little underlying images. But what it is on top, I don't know. To me, it looks like a feather. Sometimes it looks like wings. It looks like someone coming out of the wing. It looks like a spider. I mean, so again, when we're talking about images and tarot and using them intuitively, it's whatever the reader sees. And so when you have this watercolor play going on with the card, it will allow you to see some things that, you know, maybe weren't even intended by the artist, but that you see energetically. So I can really appreciate that. I like this one too. This is the old woman talking to the younger woman. Gives you the idea of speaking to your higher self. I also like this one. This is the Knight of Swords. He looks like he's handling business. For real. This is the Ten of Pentacles. There's your King of Cups. Looking like Poseidon. For real, for real. There's the Devil. And the Knight of Pentacles. And the last one, which is one of my favorites. I saved it for last. This is one of my favorite cards. Love this card. And this woman that is in there with this Black Panther is so fierce. So, all right. All right, so that is Edmund Dulac's Tarot. If you are interested in purchasing this deck, you know where to find it. Amazon. I'm just kidding. Please find someone that has this deck that you can support with your financial blessings. All right, so I'm going to take a quick pause and then I'm going to come back and then we're going to do John Bauer. So just hold on one second and I'll be right back.